Hello and welcome to the Paisley Hummingbird. My name is Amanda and I'm here to give you the oracle reading for the month of January 2023. Before I start, I just want to say Happy New Year's Eve. I hope you are all enjoying the end of our festive season or holiday season wherever you are in the world, and that you are surrounded by love, laughter, and the people that you actually care about. And I hope that this season hasn't been too stressful for you. So, as I did with my previous reading, I have done this reading beforehand and I have made extensive notes. So please forgive me if I do look down to my iPad because I don't want to miss out on giving you any message that has come through. Today's reading was done with the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake. I love this little tarot deck because it's so whimsical. The artist is Elizabeth Alba and she has some of the most beautiful artwork. And I just love that it doesn't take itself too seriously, because I think there is way too much seriousness in this world. So I like my decks to be quite whimsical. And I've been using this deck quite a lot since I got it. So yeah, I'm going to use it for the monthly reading today. As soon as I drew the cards this month, or for this month, the first piece of information I got coming through to me was that this was the month to commit to developing your spiritual practice. As I turned the cards over, I could see why I got this message. There's going to be some huge shifts for some people, which is so encouraging because, you know, we have to get our asses into gear. We have to start our spiritual practices. We have all this generation coming up behind us who are all born in the 21st century. So they've all got twos and lots of twos in their birth dates. They're all on the spiritual plane, and us oldies, we need to catch up. So January is a month for you to start developing your spiritual practice or taking it up a level if you already have a spiritual practice. So the overall energy for January 2023, it's going to be a very spiritual start to the year, as I just said previously. In this reading, I drew 5 major arcana cards, one in each part of the reading, which you'll see as we go along. And this, having major arcana cards, always represents important changes that are coming through. So you really need to pay attention, you know, stay alert. Your world is about to shift. The cards I've drawn for the overall energy for January are the first 2 cards of the Major Arcana. So that's the Magician and the High Priestess. You really can't get more spiritual than that. If you decided that January is going to be a month for your to start your spiritual practice, then the Magician is saying that success will be granted. Both cards represent using your inner wisdom and power to achieve this, you know, whatever your goals are set to. In particular, we're talking about spiritual practice here. However, the High Priestess also talks about looking outside of yourself as well for information and research. However, whatever information you're searching for, you need to know that you already have all the tools and resources within. And whatever research that you do outside of yourself, you have to know that it won't be handed to you on a plate, but rather you'll need to use your tenacity to find what you need. Even if you have a mentor in your life who helped you with your spiritual practice, they're not going to give you the answers saying, yep, here you go, here's the meaning of life. So you need to really use that noggin to work out what works for you in your spiritual practice. So these 2 cards talk about finding a mentor or a guide if you don't already have one. And that mentor or guide can guide you on your journey. Once again, don't be expected to be handed all the answers. Finding the information yourself is part of the fun. That's what helps you learn. So it's definitely a month where you would be wise to start a spiritual practice and work on listening to your intuition. The easiest ways to do this are through meditation, journaling, or breath work. These can really help you get in touch with your inner spirit. So now I'm going to go into a bit more detail about the energy surrounding January. And when I look into that further detail, I can see that the people that you surround yourself with will really make a difference for you this month. The Ten of Pentacles is a very positive card, and it reminds us that it's not what we own or we make, but who we share our good fortune with that will make life good. It's the people around you, and that's really important for you this month. As far as your spiritual practice is concerned, be aware of the people around you who support this, as they may have information for you. This goes back to the High Priestess card, which talked about looking inward to get the answers for ourselves, but also don't be afraid to look outward and get a mentor or a guide. The Ten of Pentacles also tells us that we're on the right track. So our hard work will pay off. It will be worth the effort getting up 15 minutes earlier every day to do your meditation or your journaling or your breath work. It also reminds us to appreciate what we already have in life. And since this month has a spiritual theme to it, this card is reminding us to be grateful for the practice that we already have or that we are developing. When we look on Instagram, we would be led to believe that your practice has to be perfect, and there's a certain way that it has to be done, but everybody's practice is different. And if you're just starting out, even just doing 5 minutes of meditation is something that you can be grateful for, because that will give you that shift that you need to start adding more things to your spiritual practice. When we look at the Empress card, which is another major arcana card, we see the divine feminine in all her glory. She is abundant and fertile and fully in her power. If you've already watched the 2023 video, then you'll know that 2023 is all about feminine power. She is reminding us to embrace our feminine power, and yes, that even includes men. It is the perfect month to do this because we're in early summer, and summer is rich with abundance from our harvest, and it's full of movement. So it's a great time for this card to show up. She also could be telling us to look for a mother figure in our lives that exudes this type of energy. So what are the challenges going to be for January? One of the challenges this month is stopping to listen to our inner voice. Now, I'll repeat that because I didn't say stop listening to your inner voice. I said stopping to listen to your inner voice. It's one of the easiest ways to start your spiritual practice. Yet it can also be one of the hardest, because our minds chat to us all day, and most of it is our ego. But that little quiet voice that you can feel in your gut or in your heart chakra, that's your inner wisdom. That's the one that you need to listen to, not the mindless chatter, the ego trying to make itself feel important. Are you willing to hush the outside world to hear what your inner spirit has to say? If it all seems too hard, then maybe there is a course or a workshop that you can take to help you get into the practice of listening to your inner voice and starting that spiritual practice, which is so important for us this year. You could also maybe get on Apple Music or Spotify or something and look up their guided meditations. They often have great meditations that help you clear the deck almost of that internal chatter, which we will never ever actually really get rid of. But it just makes the way for your intuition to come through so that you can hear it better. The Ace of Pentacles is telling me that this is the perfect month to start something new. Aces always represent new beginnings, and the Ace of Pentacles is one of the luckier aces in the deck. So whatever you start now, you will see that it's heading in the right direction. Lastly, I want to talk about what aid Spirit is offering us for this month. Okay, so we have a major arcana card in this position that most people fear when they see it come up in their reading. It's the Death card. I have to tell you that never in my 30 plus years of reading tarot and oracle cards have I ever had the Death card actually mean physical death. So calm your farm. It doesn't mean that. When I see the death card, I see one door closing and another door opening. There always has to be an ending, because you can't have a new beginning without an ending. I always find though that endings represented by the death card are usually pretty major. So they might be something like the end of a relationship, or the loss of a job, or a major move, or financial difficulties, that type of thing. However, because the theme of this month is building a spiritual practice, I feel like this card represents an epiphany that helps open up your eyes to your spiritual practice, or to the world that we can't see with the physical eye. It could also mean that a part of you dies spiritually or energetically, as you're shown a whole new way of being. So it's nothing to be feared. It's actually something to be embraced, because it means that you're growing. It means that you're developing your spiritual practice. And life cannot be balanced if we do not have physical, emotional / mental and spiritual. So this is a good time to actually get off your butt and do this stuff. Spirit also wants you to know that they are there for you. If you've watched the reading for 2023, you'll see that they gave the same message. They cannot stress this enough. Ask us for help and we will be there. Sometimes we have to have a shift that we can almost feel is like a loss of what was. Spirit wants us to know that you are safe. And despite what you're feeling, there is a brand new day headed your way. It's like that saying that sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. You know, sometimes we're so blinkered in looking at our grief or our loss or our despair or our anger or resentment or whatever it is. And if we just looked up, we'd go, oh, hang on a sec. There's all this other opportunities and situations and experiences out there that will help me get over that stuff. Spirit is also warning you that there could be huge shifts happening this month. I spoke about that at the beginning of the reading, and that you should be prepared for it. So if you feel the need to spend a morning bawling your eyes out, do it. This is your spirit's way, or your body's way, your energy's way of getting rid of the stuff that you no longer need, that no longer serves you. You know that you only have to ask your guides and your angels, and they will be there to guide you through it. So always know that you are protected, that you are meant to be here right now in this position as you are. So let's step forward knowing that we have backup. Okay, so that's it for this month, for January. What an exciting way to start the year. Now, if you're just starting out on your spiritual practice, please don't get overwhelmed by, oh, what do I have to do? I have to draw a card, I have to meditate, I have to do breath work, I have to do this. You don't have to do all of that. Just pick one thing to do, whether that is 5 minutes of deep breathing to calm your center, to bring your spirit back into your body, to be present. That's all you have to do. 5 minutes. Set your timer, go. 5 breaths in, 5 breaths out. You can do in through your nose, out through your mouth, or you can do them all through your nose and out through your nose. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you want to push it a bit further, go and buy that oracle deck that you've been looking at, or an oracle deck that really calls to you, and draw a card every day and see what comes to you. Ask it, what are you trying to tell me today? And listen. Listen to the images that are projected into your head. Listen to the voices that whisper just outside your ear. Write them down in a book or a notepad or a journal or whatever it is you want to do. Just 2 minutes. Just do that for 2 minutes. Or if none of those float your boat, maybe you can do a guided meditation. As I said, there are so many guided meditations on Spotify and Apple Music. Grab one, find a favorite. Do it every morning. Wake up, have a stretch, ground yourself, do your meditation straight away. Then it's out of the way for the day. That's it. Done. Get on with your day. If you already have a spiritual practice, then this call is for you to maybe zhuzh it up. Think about what you're doing. Are you just doing it because that's what you've done for the last 6 months to a year or even longer? Maybe it's time you need to freshen it so that it makes it feel like it's actually of benefit. I know that my spiritual practice has been getting longer and longer. Sometimes it takes me 2 hours in the morning to just finish it. And that includes my Qigong and my meditation and all that sort of stuff. But I've realized that this year I need to get it down to even just an hour, because my life is very busy. I don't have 2 hours every morning to sit there and do my spiritual practice. So I'm looking at maybe culling some of the things that I do or doing them better, in a better way. So that's what you're being called to do this month. Wherever you are in the world, I hope that you have a great month. January here in Australia is always usually pretty hot. We've got a real scorcher of a week coming up after New Year's. So I hope that if you are in Australia, you're staying cool, you're staying safe. Remember, COVID is still out there, guys. So please take care. Think about your loved ones. Think about the elderly and the newborns and the babies and the health suppressed people in your life that really don't want this virus. So, okay. So I've just ended on a bit of a downer, but what the hell? I've got to go. I'm just babbling now, but have a great January. I will catch you another time in another video. As I said, if you have any questions, please just comment in the comment block below. If you like this video, please just subscribe or hit the like button. It really helps my videos be seen by people who don't know about the Paisley Hummingbird yet. Thanks so much for sticking through to the end. I'm sorry it was a bit scattered today. Yeah, Happy New Year's. Have a great one. Until next time, bountiful blessings to you.